Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Johnny G Outdoors. This episode is going to be a pretty exciting episode. This was a very exciting weekend for me, August 26th. And that particular day was a day that I accomplished a goal that I've been trying to accomplish for over a year now, which is winning a kayak bass fishing tournament. This particular tournament was the Kayak Bass League Open 2017. The day started out not exactly how I wanted it to start out. I wanted to be on the water where I wanted to start fishing at 6 o'clock in the morning so that as soon as it hit 6, I could hopefully start catching fish. However, I pulled into the parking lot at 6 a.m. But much to my surprise, I was the first person there. One other kayaker had rolled in while I was getting ready to launch, and he actually got out of the water just a couple minutes before I did. Then I got in the water and I shoved off and got about halfway across the lake to where I wanted to start to realize I forgot to grab my Gatorades and I had to turn around and go back and get them. So it was probably about 6:45, maybe even a little bit later by the time I finally got over to where I wanted to start fishing. As you'll see in this video, it didn't take long before I caught the first fish of the day, which ended up not being a bass. So we'll get into some of this footage and then I'll come back and talk a little more. Big walleye. Another big old walleye fishing for bass on a wacky rig out from under a tree. Big walleye. Too bad there's a slot limit. I'll have to start 16. $17 3/4 inch smallmouth. Very nice. Alright, so at this point here we are probably about halfway through the day, and it started to rain a little bit, and with the current setup that I have for my GoPro, I run an open back because I have it plugged in to one of my batteries in the back, so that I have constant power to it, don't have to worry about the battery dying. I run a 64 gig card so I can record 6 or 7 hours worth of footage and just not have to worry about it. So I decided to pull the GoPro down, put it away in the waterproof box for a while, and then it stopped raining a little bit. I put it back up, and I got this.
Like that.
So that little bugger didn't really do me much good. He sure hit like he was a lot bigger than that, but he wasn't. Shortly after that it started to rain again, and I got frustrated with it, and I took the GoPro down again and put it away, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it away, because if I pull it back out when it stops raining again, it's probably just going to start raining again anyway. So unfortunately I did not get any more footage throughout the day. I started from one end that I wanted to fish along the shoreline, worked all the way down, and then worked all the way back up. I got all the way back up to where I had started off at. I had 4 fish. It was a 5 fish limit. And I'm sitting there just in disbelief. It's about 1:30. I've got a half hour left to fish, and I've got 4 fish. And it was a pretty slow day, but it wasn't a bad day. It wasn't a stellar day. And I talked to a couple other guys that were kayaking that were obviously also in the tournament, and pretty much everybody that I talked to said the same thing. Either they'd caught a big walleye and a bass here and there, but nothing really exciting, or they weren't really having any action at all. So at this point I'm thinking to myself, you know, I might be sitting pretty decent, depending on, you know, what these other guys were getting. But at the same time, I also knew that if I did not get that 5th fish, I probably wouldn't stand a chance. I decided to head for an area that I had previously caught a really nice fish at on that lake about a month before. And it's an area that I've never really seen anybody fish. I don't want to describe too much about that specific area, just because I don't want it to get pounded by anybody else, because I'm sure by now a lot of people know exactly what lake. So I decided to make a beeline for this particular spot. And on my way over there, I was actually saying this out loud to myself, really, but I was actually saying it out loud, and I was saying, of all the days that I really need this fish to be there, and I really need this fish to hit, today is the day. And I got over there, and I'd been catching fish previously at this lake on the wacky jig, but for some reason this particular day they didn't want the wacky jig. I ended up catching everything on the Power Team Lures 5-inch 6-stick, green pumpkin, grape swirl, Texas rig. I got to that spot and I was about ready to grab the Texas rig rod again, and I was like, you know, they've been hitting it all morning. but I hadn't gotten one in the last hour, hour and a half or so. So I'm going to take my chances and I'm going to throw the wacky jig out here. So I grabbed my rod with the wacky jig on it, made a flip out there, and almost instantly, bam, fish on. And I was thinking to myself, you have got to be kidding me. And it wasn't exactly the fish that I was hoping for. I was hoping for a 19 and a half, something like that. It wasn't. I believe it was 17 and a half or 17 and 3/4 was the last one that I caught. Didn't have the GoPros on, so I didn't get footage of this one, but I got him in, got him measured, got the pictures, and I was thinking, I just had like that big sigh of relief. I've got that fifth fish. I've got five decent quality fish. I've got a good bag. I have a fighting chance. And like I say, only 15 minutes left, and to me it was the most clutch catch I've ever had in my life. 2 o'clock hit, hadn't caught nothing else yet, and got my pictures uploaded from the lake, packed it up, headed home. The standings on this particular tournament were hidden, so nobody knew what things looked like as far as leaderboard, other than what they had caught themselves. It was about 7 o'clock Sunday afternoon when they finally released the standings and released the winners of the tournament. And much to my shock, I took first place. And I was blown away. First time I'd ever won a fishing tournament like that, and I've been trying to accomplish that for well over a year, so I was more than excited about it. Now I will go on to show you some new equipment that I acquired, starting with the most important one of all, the one that is going to make things so much nicer for you guys, which is this right here. It's not the newest, it's not the greatest, but it's good. It's a GoPro Hero 4 Silver. Significant upgrade from the previous GoPro that I had, which was a GoPro Hero Plus. I also picked up a bunch of other accessories for it. One being a open side case, and the other important one is the Movo external microphone. So now I will have great audio. Along with that, I also picked up this off-brand 3-spot charger with 2 extra batteries. So I have 3 batteries for the camera. I also picked up this GoPro, actual GoPro brand thingamajig. I plan on using this for putting one of the other GoPros on in a waterproof configuration and getting some underwater footage of like fish releases and stuff like that. So I'll have this at the ready and easy to capture some underwater footage. And I also picked up the Yak Attack panfish and what do they call it? It's the panfish and the portrait camera pulled dog bone combo deal, or whatever it is. It come with the panfish, which is just this little mount with this that swivels on it. 2 short connections like this. I changed it out and put the longer one on it for a little bit more height with this. I think like a 12-inch extension dog bone deal. So I've got a couple more mounting options for some better angles. I've got a better GoPro that takes even better video than the one that I had previously, along with the ability to have a really great audio quality. Look forward to some better quality videos from Johnny G Outdoors. Thanks for watching. Keep tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed. Comment, like, share, all that good mumbo jumbo. And we'll see you in the next episode of Johnny G Outdoors.